Hi, I'm Steve with Engage Systems, and today we're going to be looking at Salesforce CPQ product bundles. So I've created a quote here for us to have a look at. If we add a normal non-bundle product in Salesforce CPQ, for example, the copy machine, you can see it adds it straight into the quotation. If I delete that line now and add a bundle product, you'll see the difference. So here we've selected the bundle product of 9-inch pizza, and it's taken us into the configure product options. When you have a bundle product, you can break up the options into features to give the sales rep or yourself a logical progression as you go through the different options, rather than just having a big list of options. If we take a look at the first option, this is for crust. It's defaulted to thin, that's been set, and there's no charge for this because it's included within the cost of the pizza. When we go back to the quote, you'll see that as a line and it'll have included written next to it. Because this is the crust, this has been set to be locked, so you can't change the quantity, because it wouldn't make sense to be able to order one pizza with 2 crusts. You could also do this by setting the maximum quantity to 1, which is what I've done on the deep pan. So this is, you are able to edit this, but if you then try and save, you'll get a warning that you've exceeded the maximum quantity allowed. Now I could save that with the deep pan. So you can see from that initial bundle, the only change I've made here is changing the default thin to deep pan. You can see that's locked in the quantity now. A price of £1.50 for going for that additional option, and we've got cheese included as standard and tomato sauce included as standard. As this is a bundle, I can't edit these individual components, but I can edit the quantity. So if I was to change this to 3 pizzas and calculate, you'll see the quantity of these components have all gone up to 3 because it's 3 identical pizzas, and the pricing has gone up to suit. Now at this point, if we decide we want to make some changes to our configuration, as this is a product bundle, we have the reconfigure line option. If I click that, it will take us back into the configure products page we were on before. So you've got different user interfaces you can present, and there's a lot of tweaking you can do to make it flow for your business case. One example here is we have the option with the this feature of crust where we can add, and it's using these radio buttons because the quantity is 1. Under toppings, because we can change the quantities, you can see it's a tick box, not a radio button. And if we look at the feature that's source, you can see this is in a different way again. Rather than this being click options, it's add options. So if I want to change the source, I can delete that off, go into the options, and then choose, say, barbecue sauce. Now you'll see as I was hovering over the barbecue sauce there, it was saying excludes low-fat cheese, and you'll see if I add the barbecue sauce onto this bundle, this option for low-fat cheese has been greyed out. Now that's because there's a rule written within our system, a constraint that says if you have barbecue sauce you can't have low-fat cheese, or if you have low-fat cheese you can't have barbecue sauce. So if If I go back in there and change that back out now, back to tomato sauce, add that in. And then save. You can see I could go back and add the low fat cheese option. So with a fairly simple bundle like this, where there's not that many options, it would look a bit odd to use this add option. The reason you would use it is where you have a lot of options in the bundle, or a lot of options for each feature, and where you're having to scroll up and down the page. By doing this, you are creating a separate screen to go to pick through those options. So on long and complicated lists, it makes a lot more sense to use that. And you can also do it dynamically as well. There are options in there. Okay, so you can see here we've got this feature which is called Toppings, and we've got choose no more than 4 of the following. So what the rule for this feature is that you can only choose a maximum of 4 different options. So if we try and save that, the system will let us know we've got too many options in the toppings, and that is number of. We can have two, say, of ham, one each of the sweet corn, onions and pineapple. So it's 4 individual toppings, not the cumulative total. So we've got 5 different toppings going on there: 1 sweet corn, 1 onions, 1 pineapple, 1 ham and 1 ham again, and that's allowed. What we can't do is then have a different option within that particular rule. And again, just to show you, we've added another rule in here, so that if you try and go for, rather than twice as much ham, 3 times as much ham, saying you've exceeded the allowed quantity, and that's based on that individual line, not on the bundle. Okay. So we also have a couple of other options here. These are, like the toppings, completely optional. You don't have to have them at all. But whereas all of these options are considered components, so as you change the quantity on the bundle, these will change in line. So if you have 2 pizzas, you'd have 2 crusts. If you have each pizza having 2 ham on, if you have 2 pizzas, you'd have 4 ham on. With the garlic bread and with the 2-litre drink, these have been set up as an accessory and as a related product. So if we add both of those onto the quote, just to show you how that works. Okay. So if we change the quantity to 2 and calculate, you can see everything here has doubled. And like we were talking about, the ham has gone from 2 to 4, because everything's doubled. The garlic bread is down as an accessory, so that's not changed in line with the quantity of the bundle, and you can't change it on the quote. The 2-litre drink is treated as a related product, so this you can change. You could have 4 of these, you could have any quantity you like. A related product is independent to the bundle. The reason you would use a related product would be the things like cross-selling and upselling. So you want it there as an option, so it's front and centre for the sales guys, but it's not really tied into the bundle particularly, in that you can make changes to the quantities and it's treated as an independent line. Whereas this garlic bread, you You can't make changes outside of the bundle because it's being treated as part of the bundle. And one other thing just to add on that 2-litre drink. If I add the 2-litre drink onto the quote as its own separate line, so not included with the bundle, you can see it comes up as a separate check mark there, but also the pricing is different. So what this is saying is when you're ordering this drink as part of the bundle, there's an offer on, so it's slightly less, whereas if you're ordering this drink by itself, that's the standard list price, which is slightly more. So that's how it works in practice on the quote. If we take a quick look at the product itself, you can see the breakdown of the features and the options, and this will give you an idea of how it's been set up. So we've got the different features here with our pizza: crust, sauce, cheese and toppings. Each of these first three you have to specify one of, so they're set as the minimum options. With the toppings, you remember we were talking about only being able to have 4 different choices, so that's our max options of 4. With the crust, sauce and cheese, you're only allowed to choose one option, so where it wouldn't make sense to be allowed to order multiple. What this the product bundles does really well is it ties your business logic and your business rules to your parts into the quoting system. This prevents mistakes being made and helps drive people towards better sales, bigger sales, and takes a lot of the guesswork out by having the configuration rules and configurator sort of built into Salesforce CPQ. It makes quoting a lot quicker, a lot easier and more accurate. You can see here we have the product options. What this is doing is linking together the product, which might be low-fat cheese, to the product pizza that it's hanging off, and then the business rules when it's related to this particular product. So you can have, say for example, cheese throughout the system, but you can have different business rules when it's related to different sizes of pizza, or say when it was on garlic bread or something else. This is the option constraint where we were talking about barbecue sauce not being allowed with low-fat cheese, and again this is set to this particular product, so you can have different rules throughout your system.